So again, hey, my name is Keith Jones. Again, I want to just welcome everybody here. This is a friendly zone. Um, you're here to hear some information about real estate investing. Just probably want to just connect with people. You're going to learn a lot. Get ready to, I mean, whatever how you like to take notes on a device or pen and paper. Just be willing to do that. Um, this is going to be a fun meeting too. So I saw this just like you're seeing it right now. And the reason why I wanted to look at this because I needed to make a change. Um, I heard that you can make money in real estate, and I was like, man, but how? And I saw this group that you're going to see tonight. Matter of fact, the speaker that you're going to see tonight. And when I was listening to what he was saying, I was gravitating to. I was like, wait a minute, that makes way too much sense. And so as I started to look at it, I said, you know what, I can do that too. And so I believed in it. Matter of fact, he kind of helped me through the process, and he just been there with me ever since. And so I'm really grateful to be with Umair, and he's going to be speaking tonight. When I was, when I was in the military, I wanted to do real estate investing, but my life was busy and information was here, information was there. I was just all over the place, and I just needed one location so I could find information, and then study, look, review one location. That's what I was looking for. And if that's what you're looking for, you're in the right spot because that's what I found. And hopefully, well, I know my friend Umair is going to share that information with you, and it's going to be awesome. So get started. So, like, who is this guy talking to you? So, I got started. My name is Keith Jones, and I just retired from the military. Well, I say just because it just seems like that about a year ago. And I got to that point um, where I wanted to learn real estate investing, but at the same time, I had a date. No kidding, I was going to be out the military, and I wanted to provide more for my family. I wanted to, I wanted that passive income, but I also wanted to be able to pass down houses, stuff to them, because my kids wasn't going to join the military. So I had to do things different, and so what I wanted to do is learn and grow. And because of what I saw and I took action, I was able to do that. And it's in a way that I can understand it. It wasn't way over my head. It wasn't like, hey, I'm gonna show you everything in 3 days. It was a way that I was able to take rudimentary information and then apply action to it. Speaking of action, Umair is ready to get in action because I see the time and I really don't want to. I'm ready to absorb some more information tonight. So Umair, I'm looking at the chat system. We have people from all over the place who's ready to hear. The chat system is up and running, so they're ready to respond. And I think you are ready to go, my friend. So let me get out your way and let you do what you do best.
Right. Awesome. Keith, thank you, man. I appreciate everything you do. And congrats. I heard you're almost paying off your house, and you and your wife, LaFay, are just buying some property in your retirement accounts. So
Yes,
that's what I like seeing.
that is so true.
All right,
And
guys.
thank you for you, because if it wasn't for you taking the time out to share this information, you know.
Hey, got you back.
Thank you.
Guys, awesome. Just want to welcome everybody in. Give me 1 second to pull up. I got a really cool PowerPoint set up for everybody today. And like Keith said, we want to make this as interactive as possible. We would be meeting at my office in Virginia, but since COVID, everyone's freaking out. 1 second. Get my slideshow ready. All right, guys. Yeah, awesome. My name's Umair. Keith introduced me. So I'm going to give you guys in the next 60 seconds a high level overview of what to expect out of tonight. Because if none of the things that I say in the next minute or two resonate with you, then, I think it's important not to waste anyone's time. Time is one of the most important things in life. So what we do, guys, and what you're going to get the opportunity to learn about tonight are things that we're actively doing. So learning how to buy, sell, and broker mortgage notes, if you guys are familiar with that. We're going to talk about investing in tax liens and tax deeds all around the country. Many people like the idea of flipping houses. We'll talk about flipping houses, land development, negotiating short sales, apartment buildings. In 2020, I got into buying mobile home parks. Doesn't sound very sexy, but they are cash cows, guys. So everything real estate investing is what we're gonna get the opportunity to chat about tonight. And there's really three main reasons why we find people or why people find us. And I'm going to cover those real quickly. All right. Number one is you're interested in learning the ins and outs, the intricacies of real estate investing, business, entrepreneurship, and then maybe even doing some deals with us. I know me and Keith did a project together. Well, we split $63,000 together. And that was awesome, Keith. But anyways, we're looking for people that want to learn and take action, right? So if you're ready to do, you're in the right place. If you want to learn, you're in the right place. Okay. So I'm going to show you how I've learned everything and how we can just get to know each other and work together. So that's number one. The second piece to this, everyone, is we do have a unique opportunity for everyone on the webinar today. For you to start making some extra money in your spare time working from home. So maybe you're like, Umair, I don't know anything, but I could really use some cash. We've got a pretty unique opportunity to help every one of you put some cash in your pocket within the next couple of weeks. And I'll talk to you a little bit about that. And then the last piece is this, guys. You're going to hear my story. I didn't have a lot of money when I started with real estate. So sometimes we meet people and they're like, guys, we don't want to learn anything. I don't want to do any work, but I like this idea of making double-digit returns by investing in some of my projects or other investors within our group. All right. So maybe you have like a 401k, a 403b, a TSP plan, or money sitting in a savings account, literally devaluing because of the rate of inflation. And you'd like to reposition that capital in some of our projects. All right. So that's the third piece. If none of those three things resonate with you, then, I respect you and I don't want to waste your time. With that being said, before I dive deep into this meeting, I don't want to talk about things you guys already know, right? So do me a favor, everybody listening right now in the chat box, I need one of three things. You're going to type, because I need to know where you guys are at. B for beginner, I for intermediate, or A for advanced. I need one of those three things in the chat box before I move on with the training, just to make this valuable, all right? B for beginner, I for intermediate, A for advanced. All right. Okay. All right, cool. So you guys, the best way to participate is ask questions. Now, Ross, you're intermediate, so be patient. There's some beginners on tonight. And maybe you can help answer some questions if you have them as well. For those of you that are on video camera, I appreciate you. It's always weird talking to a freaking screen. So thanks for being interactive for those that are out. I know it looks like Janae is driving, but I can see her. That's what counts. Thanks, Janae. Cool. All right, guys. So let's get into it. So let's start talking about what are the different strategies that are used in real estate investing. Remember to ask questions, guys. That's the best way of learning. So what I'm going to start with tonight is we're going to give you a high-level overview of what real estate investing all entails. It's not just fix and flip in rentals, all right? And I'm also going to talk about the risk and effort that comes along with every individual strategy. And you don't have to start in any particular area. There is no one size fits all approach. Tonight might help you guys figure out what type of deal you're going to do first, all right? So let's talk about the four main levels of real estate investing and why they're so important, all right? And I'm also gonna go into the risk and effort that comes along with each strategy. All right, now the first strategy, you may or may not have heard of this, it's wholesaling, okay? In December, I wholesaled a deal and I did some virtual wholesaling. I made $20,000 from my laptop. And I like wholesaling. It's not the main thing I do though. Wholesaling is a strategy where you're learning to bring buyers and sellers together and you're taking a fee out of the transaction. Your name or your company name never actually goes on title. So you're learning to get what we call equitable rights to a property, all right? So this is like kind of what we consider level one, right? You can do wholesaling with no money and no credit. but it's a lot more difficult than most people make it out to be, because you got to really understand the numbers. You have to be able to negotiate a contract on one end and then be able to negotiate a contract on another end and be able to charge your fee for that. All right. So wholesaling. The next level I want to talk about is fix and flip. Everybody's familiar with fix and flip. You got to learn how to buy properties for pennies on the dollar. And I'll show you some of my projects today, but you got to buy them dirt cheap. You're going to put some money into it and then sell it for a profit. Pretty simple, right? I'm going to put a line between these two strategies and you'll understand why in a moment. The next level of real estate investing, and notice the risk and effort vary out, is buy and hold. Okay. Now you can learn how to buy and hold single family homes, apartment buildings, storage units. We've got some investors doing storage units. I've gotten into mobile home parks. I have investors that have bought parking lots in busy metropolitan areas, and they are making a killing. So buy and hold, all right? And then the fourth level of real estate investing is what we call the lending business, learning how to be a lender, or buying, selling, and brokering mortgage notes. And we can discuss those as well. So I put the line between these four strategies, guys, is as you're getting started, and a lot of people just do this part-time until they start making tons of money with it. You don't want to do anything drastic, right? Is they start creating what we call active income. You create active income or big checks by either wholesaling or fixing and flipping, right? You can make big checks, right? And then what you're going to want to do is we take our big checks and we reinvest them into our passive income strategies. Okay. Passive income strategies. And over time, this is not a race, right? It's a marathon. And over time, you're going to see yourself build wealth in a tax preferred way. And I'm going to discuss taxes today as well. If there's questions, you type them into the chat box. All right. Now, these are the four main levels of real estate investing. All right. Sometimes people hop on the meetup and they're like, Umair, where does a real estate agent fit in the mix? What does an agent do? Do I have to be an agent to make money in real estate? The answer is no. All right. So an agent is looking to make a 3 to 6% commission, everyone, on the buy or sale of what we call retail real estate. Okay. I know I'm watering things down because there's beginners on tonight. I am not an agent. There are pros and cons of being an agent and an investor, and we can discuss those if you ask, right? But an agent, you do not necessarily have to be an agent to make big money with real estate investing. Now that I've covered the four main levels of real estate investing, I want to talk to you guys about the glue that brings these strategies together. Okay, because as you learn this stuff and you make it fit for your personality, your busy life, you're going to want to have these strategies in your back pocket. Like if all you learned how to do is wholesale, guys, then your back is eventually against the wall. You're a one-trick pony. Okay, you can make some quick change, but then it's a one and done. Well, what we want to show you guys is if it makes sense, you've got to have the knowledge, resources, and tools to go into a fix and flip. All right. Now, maybe you're fixing this property up. God forbid this happens, but it happens. Let's just say the market tanks, the market crashes, something crazy happens, right? Now, if the market crashes, guys, you never want to lose money on deals. Okay. And this has happened to me before. If the market crashes, you want to know how to adjust your strategy into a buy and hold type of deal without losing money. Like one of the things I've done in the past is I've gone from a fix and flip into a lease with an option. Okay. Lease with an option. Okay. Now, and I'll explain to you what a lease with an option is if you don't know. But if I'm in a lease with an option, and let's say my buyers are not exercising their right to purchase that property because I want to cash out on it. Well, guys, real estate is a relationship business. You have to have the resources and tools with note buyers that'll cash you out on that paper. Hopefully that's making sense. All right. So you want to learn how to become a transactional engineer. Once you learn how to make transactions work regardless of what's happening in the marketplace, that's when you're onto something. All right. So the glue that I was talking about that I want you guys to learn and that we'll cover today, if we have time, are strategies like equity sharing or equity harvesting, understanding how to build your wealth tax deferred with 1031 exchanges, if you guys know what those are. You'll hear my story in a second. I didn't have a lot of money when I started. So I began to purchase property subject to the existing mortgage. I used to believe that I had to go to a bank to buy real estate, which is absolutely not true. You can also start learning and understanding more and more about uh, seller financing. There's a dozen of ways for you to start structuring seller financing. And we're going to talk a lot about deal structure in an upcoming slide. All right. Now, I cover this first for a lot of the beginners is because I want to give you guys a high level overview of everything real estate investing. And as the meeting goes on, we'll drill down into this to where things begin to make more and more sense. All right. But we don't want people to just have one strategy. You want to understand the game. And then once you truly understand the game and the art of real estate investing, then ideally you want to specialize in a strategy. All right. Become a specialist. Now, before I move on, let me check the chat box. Any questions? Good. Because you guys are always welcome to type your questions into the chat box. And I see a couple more people came out on camera. What's up, Nigel? What are you guys, like in your undies or something where we can't hang out and see each other like common folks? Is that what's going on tonight? All right. So those are the 4 levels of investing. All right. Now, a little bit about me real quickly. My name is Umair, born and raised here in Virginia. I had no idea that me and my wife would be full-time real estate investors. I had no idea that we would be making the checks that we're making, right? And so prior to real estate, guys, I don't have a college degree. I thought I went to the community college for a little bit. My dad wanted me to be a doctor and this and that, but I wasn't that good at regular school, and I'll just be honest. So after high school, I went into the workforce. So I had a bunch of different jobs. I was delivering food for this company called Postmates. I was a personal trainer for a while. I've done some pro boxing and some mixed martial arts, believe it or not. You guys can look up some of my fights on YouTube. But I knew I didn't want to get punched in the face for a living. It was just a hobby growing up because I wanted to stay away from drugs and alcohol and all the things that, people around me were getting stuck in. So martial arts has really saved my life. So that's just me. My first business was this kid summer camp. One summer, I made $38,000. And ever since then, I've been addicted to business and entrepreneurship. So enough about me, though. The goal today is to really get to know you guys. So the more you interact and hang out with us, the better it is. We're really looking for some long-term relationships with the right people. And honestly, that's why you're here. Okay. This is my wife, Yas. She quit her job almost 4 years ago now. Wow, time flies. And I'm going to have a similar conversation with you guys that I had with her, especially if you're a beginner and don't know much. All right. One of the things is I told my wife, I said, honey, your job is costing our family way too much money, and I'm going to explain to you guys what I meant by that. Now, readers are leaders. I'm going to give you guys some cool books that you can read. This is a book that had a big impact on my psychology. It's called The 1 Minute Millionaire. But enough about me, guys. Tonight's about you. We're going to dive into the training. Make sure you ask questions. All right. So originally, I started learning about real estate investing from like the University of YouTube, Bigger Pockets. I would pay like $500 for a workshop, $2,000 to these gurus. And guys, it was tough. It's like I was living in my parents' basement in Lorton, Virginia, doing circles until I found what I'm going to share with you guys today. But while I was on YouTube, I heard from this guy. He's a comedian, hilarious, George Carlin. He said this, and I'm just going to relate it to you. He says, banks, corporations, and governments, they don't want well-informed, well-educated people. capable of critical thinking. He says it's against their interest. They want obedient workers, people who are smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork, yet dumb enough to passively accept it. And so when he said this to me, it really went from my head to my heart. Like, my parents were first generation from Pakistan, so they worked at 7-Elevens for over 20 years. And then my dad worked at the post office, and literally he was a manager for the post office in Maryfield, Virginia. Literally 6 months after my dad retired, he was going to be forced to go back and get another job. I want you guys to look up a lot of the things I say today, but 87% of Americans today are outliving their retirement. So after their first retirement, they have to go back and get another job. The system is broken. And so because of what you guys are going to see today, my parents never have to work ever again. Okay. And it's not because I made a gazillion dollars. We just completely restructured what they were doing with their retirement, their social security, and the equity that my dad was able to create in his property. I think there's a big difference between saying things and showing things. So I'm going to show you guys a lot. Just make sure you ask questions when needed. So we do have an opportunity to share with everybody today, okay? And this is the definition of opportunity from Webster's dictionary. It's just a set of circumstances that makes it possible to do something. The company that I'm going to share with you towards the end of the meeting, at the end of the real estate training, they've been creating real estate investors like me since 2011. I'm not a guru. I just want more partners and friends to do business with. That's why I do these meetups, okay? So quick disclosure, I'm an independent contractor of the company that I will share with you towards the end of the meeting. Basically, we've been able to set up multiple streams of income. And by the time this meeting is over, you may have an additional stream of income that you can do with me. It's separate from real estate investing, okay? Another disclaimer for you guys, I'm not a licensed attorney, accountant, financial advisor, broker, or any other licensed individual. The only license I have, everyone, literally is my Jarvis license. That is it, okay? Just wanted to keep it 100% with all of my future friends. I want to get to know you guys. This is the intellectual property of the education company that I'll share with you at the end of the training today. So the real purpose of why you're here is number one, you learning so we can do some projects and grow together. And number two, you putting some cash in your pocket. If you have some capital and would like to invest it, I've got more than enough projects that I can handle, and I'd love to work with you. So guys, I'm going to show you the deal that made me realize that I wanted to be a real estate investor. This is not my project. This is, I'll introduce him to you. His name is Scott. I met him kind of like how you're meeting me today. But this is a 6-unit apartment building, and Scott, this is his deal. So when he got this, it was valued at $400,000. Okay. Now, Scott was able to acquire and rehab this property for pennies on the dollar. And I'll show you guys how I find my deals, and maybe you'll find your deals the same way. But he acquired and rehabbed this deal for cheap, for pennies on the dollar, guys. He got this and rehabbed this for $246,000. So he walked into this deal with equity. If you're a beginner, if you're brand new to real estate, write this down. Equity equals wealth. Okay, equity equals wealth. Let me explain this really quick. In America, as you learn how to buy properties at deep discounts and you walk in with equity, you can always borrow against that equity to create more cash flow. Okay, guys, the reason I do investing in business is for cash flow. Cash flow is king. Right? Like if the stock market was open right now, if all of us were to go and buy Apple stock, we would be forced to buy that stock at the same price, right? But with real estate, we're able to negotiate and buy it at a discount. And you walk in with wealth, right? I'm a real estate lover, and it's great. So let me get back to this deal. Valued at 400, acquired and rehabbed for 246. The investor walks in with $154,000 of equity. So in other words, he's learned how to build wealth on day one. Okay. So this is a 6-unit building. Each unit rents out for $1,000. So every month, this business or this building brings in $6,000. Okay. So then there's expenses. And I want you guys to go along with me, right? There's $4,000 of expenses every month. Type into the chat box, what are those expenses? What could those expenses be? Let's see who knows what expenses would we have on a real estate project. Who knows? Let me see who's actually paying attention. Okay, Karen said utilities. Is that it, Karen? Who else got some expenses for me? What are expenses that come? Ooh, Tanya Haywood, taxes, insurance. You got your debt service, right? You guys are a smart group. So you have your income, then you have your expenses, then what you've got left over is your NOI, your net operating income, okay? So this building produces $2,000 every single month, all right? So I said, wow, I mean, if I had the question in my head was like, man, if I had money, I would love to do this because, you know, I wasn't even making this much every 2 weeks. So let's dive deeper into this deal. So these are the numbers, guys. Now, what my friend did, because he had money, okay? My friend had money. He drives a Lamborghini. He has a lot of houses. I'll introduce him to you as we build a relationship. But Scott went to a bank and the bank says, okay, we'll finance your deal as long as you put $50,000 down. And so Scott had it, so he put the $50,000 down. The bank financed $196,000 of this deal. What I want all my beginners to pay attention to, all of you guys, check out who's got more skin in the game. Is it the investor that put the $50,000 down, or is it the banks that have put $196,000 into the deal? It's the banks. Guys, it's all about learning how to get wealthy using the bank's money. The banks are used to getting wealthy using our money. And I believe we should work together to change that. So $50,000 down, the bank finance 196. If the net operating income every month is $2,000, well, in 12 months, this one building makes $24,000 a year, okay? Now, I want you to think about this because there's stuff that you're gonna start learning with us. Like there's acronyms, there's calculations, there's mathematics, right? So with $50,000 down in a yearly net operating income of $24,000, guys, he's been able to create a 48% cash on cash return. And so when I saw this deal, it really interested me because my parents don't come from money. We don't understand money. We weren't taught finances, but I was like, man, my dad is a money hoarder. He had money just sitting in a savings account. And he was losing money in a savings account. So I wanted to help my family create those type of returns. Now, what we're creating here, guys, and you're going to hear me say this a couple of times, is what we've created is a real estate investing ecosystem, okay? Doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, black, white, gay, straight, doesn't matter. You're going to fit somewhere within our group. If you care, we care, genuinely, all right? So within our real estate investing ecosystem, what you'll be doing with us is we just get together every week. We look at deals, we run numbers, we joint venture, we do all kind of stuff, right? But we do these things called study groups, okay? Specific study groups. So we do study groups on like apartment buildings, wholesaling, flipping. I don't know what it is you want to do, notes. So let's just pretend for a moment in time that we're in a study group. Okay, and I'm going to show you guys a little bit about deal structure. In fact, I'm going to show you how investors in our group or investors all across the country, how people, have you guys ever heard someone say, I did this deal with no money and no credit? And you're like, how? Well, I'm going to show you guys how people do deals with no money and no credit. In fact, if you're interested in learning how people do deals with no money or credit, put a Y in the chat box. I just want to make sure you guys, because everybody's hiding from me tonight, I want to make sure you guys are here, for lack of better words. Just one person named Tanya Haywood. All right, I got a couple of people. See, the people who take the initiative to pay attention, you can always tell because they're the ones that get deals done faster than the ones that sit around and wait. Toya, I've been calling you Tanya. Sorry, Toya. All right, here we go. So let me use some of you guys as an example. So let's just pretend for a moment in time, we're in a study group, right? And we'll say, well, I'm just going to say Toya, because we'll say Toya, I'll use her in my example. Let's just say, and this isn't real, but let's say Toya, she had some weird circumstances happen in her life and she has no money and no credit. She's starting all over. Okay. And, but Toya's hungry. She's a really good negotiator and she is ready to start over and make things happen. Let's say Toya gets this property, what we call under contract, okay? And I'm gonna keep it really simple because a lot of you guys are beginners. What that means is Tanya, she meets with the sellers of this 6-unit apartment building. We'll call the sellers, guys, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, all right? So Tanya meets with the Smiths. The Smiths are older. The property's a little bit distressed and they just want to liquidate. Okay. So Tanya gets this under contract. Now, what that means is Tanya meets with the Smiths. She's got a paper contract and she gets signatures from both parties. Guys, what that's called is a ratified contract. It's executed. Okay. So she gets it under contract for that $246,000. But Tanya, remember, she doesn't have money or credit. She had just enough money for the earnest money deposit. Okay. So Tanya's got this under contract, and according to her contract, she's got 60 days to close. So Tanya's nervous. She's excited. She's like, oh my God, I got this deal. Right? Now, Tanya doesn't want to just wholesale this property. She wants to learn how to build her wealth back up with apartment building investing. So like I said, we do study groups. So in the last couple of weeks, let's just say she got to know Muhammad really well. I'll just put a M-O-H for Muhammad because it's a long name. And let's say Muhammad is a busy guy, has children, has a wife, has a full-time job. And Muhammad has money just sitting in a savings account, but he's learning real estate investing with our team like we are today. And so what Tanya does initially is she goes, she comes to the office or we hang out every week. She goes, Muhammad, check out this deal, right? So Muhammad's looking over the deal. Muhammad's like, wow, Toya. I called you Tanya again. He goes, wow, Toya. This is a great deal. I'm so jealous. I cannot wait to find a deal like this. Well, Toya says, well, I have a proposition for you, Muhammad. If you put the $50,000 in, that means you will need to get funding from the bank, right? So she's offering Muhammad a joint venture agreement. She goes, if you put the 50 G's in, Muhammad, it's just sitting there anyways. You want to get experience. I want to get experience. Well, Muhammad, I'm going to give you $500 out of the monthly cash flow that this building's already producing. So you get experience and you get increased cash flow. Muhammad goes, talks to his wife, and she's like, I don't know. But finally, he's the man of the house. So he's like, all right, Toya, I'm in. So they get our local, because we have the professionals you're going to need to do the deals, like title companies, attorneys, CPAs, all that stuff, agents. So originally, Tanya and Muhammad are about to do this joint venture agreement. Everything's good, right? But let's say the bank pulls both of their credit and Muhammad's kids went on a shopping spree with his credit cards, didn't even tell him, right? So his credit's not as good as he thought it was. So these two need a credit partner. So they're thinking, and they're like, well, what about Karen, right? Karen's pretty. She's nice. She seems like she has her act together. I bet you Karen has good credit. Let's go talk to Karen. I'll just put Karen, right? So Toya and Muhammad go talk to Karen. And what Toya offers Karen is the same thing. Karen, all you got to do is sign on the dotted lines, be our credit partner in this project, right? And what Toya was going to do originally is she was going to give Karen $500 out of the monthly cash flow that the building's already producing, right? But let's say Karen was playing hardball. She goes, I'm not messing with y'all. The reason I'm learning real estate investing so I can do my own projects. I'm good, right? But remember, Toya's a good negotiator. They really like Karen because she seems like she's going to be the perfect partner. So this is what Toya says, right? She goes, look, Karen, I didn't want to have to do this. But if you sign on the dotted lines, Karen, I'm willing to give you half of that $154,000 of equity, right? Remember, she got equity. I'm gonna give you half of that equity right out the gate. Okay, because deals, your attorney can structure deals in multiple different ways. So they go to the community attorney, and instead of doing a joint venture agreement, what these three individuals decide to do within our real estate investing ecosystem, right? What they decide to do is they go create, let's call it TMK LLC. And what this LLC does is it buys the 6-unit apartment building from the Smiths. So the Smiths go to the beach, they're out. And now this LLC owns the 6-unit apartment building. But what I want you guys to pay attention to, because of the real estate investing ecosystem, because of the knowledge, resources, tools, and most important, people, there's a reason why you're here today. Toya was able to do her first real estate deal with no money and no credit. And check this out, guys. She's still making $1,000 of cash flow every single month. I just want to open your mind up to the power of real estate investing. Because of what I know, guys, I'll never need a job ever again. Okay, and I'm here to share it with you all today. Now, before I move on, do you guys have any questions? If you do, type them into the chat box. This is a little insight into deal structure and what you could be doing with us. Okay. Yes, no, you guys good? I got a question for you. Here's a pop quiz. I got a pop quiz. Let's see who my smart people are on the line. Let's say Muhammad, remember Muhammad, he was our cash partner. Let's say Muhammad has a family emergency, right? And he goes to Toya and Karen, he goes, ladies, guys, I had a family emergency. I really need my $50,000 back. What could we do to cash Muhammad out? Type it into the chat box. Come on, guys, I need you to participate, or this meeting is gonna be boring. It's gonna be as fun or as boring as you guys want. What do we need? What could we do? There you go, Muhammad. This is why you gotta find properties at deep discounts. This is a good example of when we would do what's called a cash out refi. Okay, we do a cash out refi. We pay Muhammad, the cash partner, off, but then we would also have to take him out as a member of the LLC. And now there's just Toya and Karen splitting the monthly income. Guys, this is part of the reason why I fell in love with real estate investing. It is multifaceted, all right? And we're gonna dive deeper into more of this, but this is what you'll be doing with us if it makes sense, all right? If you guys have questions, this is a good time to ask. I just wanted to introduce to you guys a little bit more about deal structure, okay? All right, so let me talk to you guys a little bit about what it means or why we're creating a real estate investing ecosystem. First off, there's some really cool books. If you're brand new and you're a beginner, a good book I recommend is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. It helped me change my mindset. I used to think like poor people do. I just had a broke mindset. But the second book that Robert wrote was something called the Cash Flow Quadrant. I'm gonna give you the whole book in the next 5 minutes, right? I'm gonna save you guys some time. So he drew this out in his book, right? And he says, sometimes people in America, some people just have jobs. There's no right or wrong. Maybe you just have a job right now. But again, I'm gonna tell you what I told my wife. Only working a job is the most expensive way of earning a living in America. I'm gonna show you the numbers behind that, and I challenge you guys to debate with me. It's gonna be fun, all right? So I'm gonna put an E right here. The other type of person in America is someone who is self-employed. So I'm building houses right now. I flip houses, I rent them out. I do a lot of different things, right? But like my carpenter, my builder, my agents, they're what we call self-employed. They basically own a job. It's a lot like an Uber driver, right? Because when you're driving, you're getting paid. But soon as the car shuts off, so does the cash flow, right? So I'm gonna put an S right here as well. In Robert's book, he said these two type of people, it's not that they're not intelligent, they just have an LFE. That stands for a lower financial efficiency. Their money is not as efficient as it could be. All right. Then there's business owners, guys. I consider myself a business owner. You might be a business owner on the line, but true business owners own a system and people work for them. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of this acronym, but system stands for something. It stands for save yourself time, energy, and money. Okay. If you have a full-time job and you don't like it, I'm not saying quit your job, but you have to be making as much, if not more, than what your W-2 pays you before you leave it. All right. What we've been able to set up for locals everywhere, and I'm going to talk to you guys more about this, is what we call an earn and learn system. So you can be making money and learning. Okay. And I'll show you, I use this system and it's really been a blessing for me. So there's business ownership. And then the last one is an investor. So a true investor, and you may be an investor and you're on the line, is someone who has a lump sum of capital, and every dollar that he or she has goes out into the marketplace and duplicates itself. All right. So then there's the investor. The people on the right-hand side of Robert Kiyosaki's quadrant have an HFE, a higher financial efficiency. Their money's more efficient. Now, since a lot of you guys are beginners, I want to tell you why it's so important to position yourself as a business owner. Let's talk about this. If it wasn't for business owners, many people wouldn't even have a job. Okay. Now, us business owners help the people who are self-employed stay self-employed, right? Like I said, my contractors, my subs, my agents, my property manager. Now you're like, hey, well, what about the investor? Guys, the investors that have a lot of money, they're looking for business owners with the right systems in place to invest their money into. So if you're going to be successful in the real estate game, position yourself as a business owner. We're going to show you guys how. All right. I follow this guy, Tony Robbins. He really helped me change my life. Unfortunately, my dad and mom had to work all the time. So even my older brother, he fell in the wrong things, drugs. He went to jail for a little bit. But this guy, Tony Robbins, I took his programs. I have some of them, so I'll give them to you guys as we build a relationship. But Tony says where focus goes, energy flows. I don't know where you guys are focusing on right now, but we've got to change it. I can't talk about you because I don't know you yet, but I had a lower financial efficiency. Umair had a lower financial efficiency. I was in a lot of debt because that's all Americans are taught. I was paying a lot in taxes without even recognizing it, and then just buying liabilities. And I might be saying things you guys already know, but you may have to hear it again. Like we go out and buy our cars and they're a depreciating liability as soon as you leave the lot, right? Now, I'm not saying don't go buy nice cars. Like I bought my wife a Range Rover, but I didn't buy it the way that most people do. We bought it in our business. And I'll discuss a lot of these things with you as the meeting goes on. But this is what we call a fixed and determined income. So if you make $100,000 a year, I'm going to show you that by the end of the year, you're left with half of that. So it's really 50. Okay. I mean, you got to learn how to follow the math because math never lies. Okay. So if this is what you're doing right now, you're going to start changing the game up, right? We've got plans for people, right? Initially, you got to start learning how to eliminate all of your debt. If you're in debt right now, it's so hard to run a business, start a business, and even think if you have a lot of debt. Okay. So we've got some strategies to help you wipe out your debt. You're going to learn to eliminate your debt and start making money with us within the next couple of weeks if you need money. You're going to begin understanding write-offs and the power of write-offs, and then assets. Guys, there's places all around this country, and I'll show you where I'm buying. There's places all around this country where you can literally go buy a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house for as little as $30,000. And as soon as you put a system around that process, it will make you anywhere from $700 to $1,000 a month. Okay, and I'm going to show you some of my deals that I'm doing. But where focus goes, energy flows. If you wake up thinking about your debt, unconsciously what happens in the human psyche is you create more of it. It's just some weird psychological phenomenon. We want to teach people how to have a new and controllable income. My dad's problem is, or was, he didn't have any control over how much sick leave he got. My dad had no control over how much time he could spend with his family. I mean, it sucked. So tonight is a lot about giving people control back. All right. Now, talking about control, I'm going to show you some of my deals as well. But guys, listen, where focus goes, energy flows. Now, this is a deal I recently did. And I'll show you how I learned how to do this because I previously had no experience in real estate investing. I took these classes on how to develop land, like land development, and it takes me a while to learn something. So I listened to it and I asked questions and I came to study groups. But this is one of my projects. I bought this in, if you guys know where Lake Anna is in Virginia, I bought this lot. It was just a piece of dirt, right? I bought this lot for $17,500. Now, I partnered up with a builder, a good friend of mine. He's a part of the ecosystem. And so our cost to build this home, this little, it's an 1,800 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath property, lake house. It cost, $183,251. Now, my all-in cost, because I was able to do this deal with no money out of pocket, right? That money is factored into this cost to build. But I was all in at around 200,751. Guys, I sold this property and I didn't use a real estate agent, right? You don't have to use an agent to sell your properties. There's other tactics and techniques that we want to teach you, but I sold it for 280,900. Okay. And I have 3 more properties that I'm building in the same zip code right now, but we were able to make $80,000 on this deal. Guys, and this is money that, like, when you come from a place when you used to make $30,000 a year, sometimes I pinch myself, but it's possible, right? This is one of the deals I wanted to show you. Now, quick disclaimer here, guys. The information shared here is for explanation purposes only. Any projection of growth or income does not imply that such growth or income is typical or easy to build or even possible for some people listening to this. If you're new and you're going to take notes today, guys, write this word down. Write down the word hard. And then right next to it, write down the word easy. Majority of Americans just get so comfortable with their W-2 that they take the easy route. And then unfortunately, life gets harder later. What I told my wife, because she wasn't a believer, she goes, no, you have to work and you have to get us. My wife, she wanted me to have a job and drive Uber on the side. I said, I'm not doing that. So I told her, I said, honey, if we work as hard as we can for 5 years, we could literally chill for the next 40 to 50. And once I had her understand the numbers behind what I'm telling you guys, she joined forces with me. Thank God she did, okay? I just want to be really, really straightforward about everything. So now you're probably wondering, Umair, why do you have a bucket of water on a real estate investing training? Guys, when I was working multiple jobs, I would literally work, and then every 2 weeks after I paid like my car, my rent, my bills, I felt like my bank account was leaking like this bucket of water. On the next 2 or 3 slides, I'm going to show you how and why this is happening and how we should change it together, right? So I'm going to cover the holes that are leaking out of your bank accounts and you're not even recognizing it, all right? So this is going to save you guys a lot. I forgot to put this in here. So real quick, if you have a mortgage, a car loan, a student loan, or any personal loan, put a Y in the chat box for me. If you have a loan, any type of loan, put a Y in the chat box. Anyone? Are you guys good? Student loan, car loan, home loan. Okay. A couple of you guys are still awake. Okay. So guys, you may already know this, but I got a cool strategy that I want to share with you guys. Okay. So guys, this is an example of a $200,000 loan for 30 years at 5% interest. The way all of the loans are structured, and student loans are the absolute worst because even if you filed for bankruptcy, you can't get rid of them. Although I think Biden is trying to do something about that. But all of these loans, guys, they're what we call front-end loaded. Okay, so what that means is we're paying the banks nothing but interest up front. Nothing but interest. So month after month after month, the banks get a bunch of interest, right? And then the more you go down this amortization schedule, the more you start paying towards the principal, right? But it's kind of a trap. Let me explain to you guys why, okay? It's called and you got to start paying attention to language because language is very, very important. It's called a 30-year amortized note, Okay. The keyword in the middle is more. We all know that we end up paying double or triple what that property is worth, right? And then the bank gives you a mortgage. Mortgage. It sounds a lot like that place that we go when we die, the morgue, right? And the way the banks do this is we pay them a lot of interest, and then every 5 to 7 years, they're going to give you a call, and it's going to sound like this. Congratulations, Mr. Jones. You've been approved for a lower monthly payment. And every single time us Americans refinance on our personal loans and personal homes, the clock on that note starts all over again. So you're back paying that majority interest portion, right? Guys, most Americans are renting the American dream. They just don't even recognize it. So the homework that I have for you guys today, if you are in debt right now, we have a really cool debt elimination training. It's a completely free training, but the homework that I would like for you guys to do to begin understanding this strategy, I don't have time to cover the whole strategy today. I have a limited amount of time, is number one, is you're gonna print out your amortization schedule. Like if you have student loans or even your car loan, do some research and print out your amortization schedule. Homework piece number two is you're gonna register, contact whoever invited you here, and you're gonna register for our free debt elimination training. I mean, this has literally saved us hundreds of thousands of dollars that we would have paid the banks. And no, I am not talking about just making extra payments, because what does that do? That limits your cash flow. We're gonna start doing some financial restructuring. So let's talk about numbers, guys. Now, this is many consumers' tax, time, and interest cost, right? So let me know if I'm wrong anywhere. Now, we've already acknowledged that the majority of Americans, at least 33% of their hard-earned money gets paid out in just interest. Just happens. Now, if you're working a job right now, like a W-2 job, a 9-to-5 type of thing, before you see your check every 2 weeks or every month or however you get paid, the government takes at least 33 or 40% out of your money, depending on your tax bracket, obviously, but it's called income tax. And what happens, guys, is most Americans are left with just this 33% to live off of. And it's just not enough, guys. I meet people that are government contractors. They make $150,000, sometimes $200,000 a year. But for some odd reason, they still feel broke. It's not what it's the process that they're using and the way that they're going about making money. If this is what your financial pie chart is looking like right now, or if it's even close, you're going to love me, because we're going to start restructuring everything tonight. Okay. And if it doesn't make sense, make sure you ask questions. So if this is what you're like now, it could go from this to this. This is the possible change. Now, real estate investors, entrepreneurs that know what they're doing, sure. We're paying a little bit in interest and taxes, but guys, most of our money goes to our living expenses. And I'm going to show you how on the next training. This next training is so important for you guys to grasp tonight. Because if you don't get this piece, real estate investing is you're not going to be a great real estate investor. Okay. So this training is called the Tax Matrix. I'm going to play everything out for you. So here we go. So I'm going to play the numbers out and then I'm going to explain it. If you guys don't get this, make sure you ask. All right. Because this is what people are doing. And they don't teach this in schools, right? So Umair, this is what I used to do, right? I had jobs and I used to run everything through my social security number. When we're born in this country, they stamp us on our bottom with our social. We go to school, get a job, get a degree. And then when you go sign up for your job, you get hit with income tax right out the gate. Now, most Americans are spending half of whatever they have left. Life tax is like personal property tax. And then you guys already know this is true, but most Americans have just a little bit of money in their savings account, okay? This process down here is the process of owning stuff, okay? What I realized is that wealthy people own nothing. They've just learned how to control everything. Now, let me elaborate on this. Now, for example, like I showed you that deal that I just did. I made $80,000 on, right? So the first thing you got to start learning how to control is your cash flow. It's so important. And on the side, you're going to start learning how to run your cash flow through your businesses, like through an EIN number, a TIN number, properly structured trust accounts. Okay. Now, on that last deal, when it was done, the title company wired me, Umair, $80,000. So I got it first, right? I get it first. No one else gets to see my money but me first. So that $80,000 went into my business bank account. You guys getting it? Now, remember how I said words are very powerful, guys? I don't spend money anymore. I make money throughout the year and then I use it, right? Like I used money. I took my wife on a trip to London, and then I took her to Paris, and we stayed in other investors' Airbnbs, right? But as I was staying in their Airbnbs and I was test driving their model, it became a tax write-off, right? So instead of spending, I'm using. And then what we do throughout the year is we take advantage of all 400 plus tax write-offs that are available to us. And what happens to business owners and more sophisticated investors is we get taxed on what's left over at the end of the year instead of being taxed so heavily up front. Now, let me explain to you guys why this makes such a difference. I'm going to elaborate on this real quick. Let's say Umair makes $900,000 this year. I'm flipping apartments, I'm wholesaling, whatever. I'm making big money with real estate. Let's say I bring in $900,000. It's no longer called income, guys. This 900,000, pay attention to how words change. The $900,000 is called revenue, right? It's called revenue. Now, legitimately, let's say Umair has $875,000 of expenses, right? Like my cell phone. My cell phone is not in my name. It's my business name. It's an expense, right? So I have $875,000 of expenses. So guys, I've got 25K left over. So I would get taxed, right, on that $25,000 left over at the end of the year, instead of being taxed so heavily up front. Now, why this is so important for you guys to understand is, guys, I live life on my terms. I do what I want, when I want, how I want. I'm just a freedom junkie, right? The reason I do real estate is I like freedom. I like to travel, okay? Everybody does things for different reasons. But you start to have more control over your life as you start understanding it. Now, let me drive this point a little bit, right? Let's compare these numbers, because this is so important for you to get if you're going to be a real estate investor. Now, this is someone who has a W-2 job and a business owner. Same number, same income, everybody. This person makes $100,000, and at a 30% tax bracket, they pay $30,000 in taxes. They've got $70,000 in expenses. And as you can see, there's nothing left over at the end of the year, right? Now let's compare that to a business owner, right? Same income, $100,000 comes in, same expenses, $70,000 goes out, but we've got this thing called AGI. Now what AGI stands for is adjusted gross income. So if this person has an AGI of $30,000, guys, they're taxed on their AGI instead of being taxed up front, right? So they're taxed on $30,000, which is 10 G's. And check this out. You got $20,000 left over in your bank account. Are you guys understanding this? Or did you guys already know this? If you're getting it, put a Y in the chat box, because this is one of the most important things that you're going to want to know as you're restructuring your own finances. And we're going to talk about tax strategies. Anyone still listening? Let's see who still Muhammad is. Powerful. Joyce, good. Guys, this is like, I didn't get it before. And I was like, what the heck is going on? Like, you got to understand the system, guys. Now, just to prove my point, let me show you that this is really happening in America and why it's up to you to change the game. We got your back if you care. Check this out. So Jeff Bezos, you guys know Jeff Bezos, millionaire. He was like the first or second most wealthy person in the world at one point. I think he was tied with Elon Musk, maybe? I don't know. But check this out. In 2018, everyone, you paid more in income tax than Jeff Bezos did. Let that sit in for a second. You guys just got to start restructuring how your family is running their finances. And it starts today because we're going to give you direction and you're going to get going. All right. It's just crazy. Like now that I get the game, I'm like, all right, well, I don't got to do what everyone else does. Right. I just know too much. So I got a question for you guys. Do you want to keep saving stuff or do you want to learn how to control stuff? It's all about giving control back to you and your family. Guys, this is a real advertisement from a real bank. It says, ask about our 1% CD. Now, a CD is a type of savings account, right? But we all know this. If the rate of inflation in America is at least 3%, some argue that the true rate of inflation is like 5%. But if the rate of inflation is at 3% and the bank's giving you a measly 1%, you're taking a financial haircut every single minute you let them do that to you, okay? Savers are ultimately losers unless they're saving to invest in a particular thing, all right? And it's just, people don't get it. They are so conditioned that money is everything. Guys, it's not. I value other things way more than money, especially my relationships. I love people. So with that being said, guys, we're going to do a little mindset training because if you can't get your mindset right, then this real estate investing thing is not for you. All right. We're going to talk about the typical mindset and the wealthy mindset. All right. Now there's 4 currencies I want you guys to understand: money, time, knowledge, and relationships. Now money's obviously a currency. You take $5 to Mickey D's, you get a meal, right? Time is the currency that people forget about, right? You got a gazillion dollars, guys. But you got 6 months left to live. What's going to be worth more to us? All that money or more time living life on our terms? I'm a young guy, but 12 years gone so fast. It just, you blink and your life is, you're getting older and older, right? So time is definitely a currency. Most people I meet are giving up all of their time for a little bit of money that's taxed at a high rate. Does that make sense? But time is a currency. Now, knowledge is definitely a currency, right? Who gets paid more? Think about this: a customer service representative or a doctor? Obviously a doctor. Guys, I didn't know what I didn't know, and that's why I was broke and living in mommy and daddy's basement. And then relationships, like your relationship, especially in America, it's such a trap. Your relationships with like Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, your FICO scores, guys, many times it dictates what we can and can't do. Okay, so let's talk about this. There's a typical mindset and the wealthy mindset. And if, guys, it's so hard to change your mind. This is going to be your biggest challenge. All right. Typically, money is the reason why people do or don't do things. If they're all money motivated, right? Money's the reason, time is the tool. Guys, my dad would get up and get dressed for an hour, sit through DC traffic for an hour, spend 4 hours at the post office. They only gave him an hour break. Then he goes back to work for 4 hours. Then he drove home for an hour, argued with my mom about money for an hour. He literally did it for 30 plus years just to find out he's going to outlive his retirement. I just didn't want to do that. Money was his reason. Time was his tool. I've changed the game, guys. Money is the tool. Time is the reason. You think I'm building those houses? You think I'm flipping the houses? I'm not doing the work. I've got property managers, attorneys, agents. I've learned how to leverage what other people are good at, right? But I throw my money away so I can buy my time back. And honestly, I like spending time speaking to people like you, because when Keith flipped his first house, it brought me so much pleasure. I was so happy, right? So then there's knowledge, right? Knowledge for most people is a burden. I know it was for me. I was like a D student. Where now, guys, knowledge is a journey. I cannot wait to meet you in person because you might teach me something that I don't know, right? Then there's relationships. For most people that you meet, other real estate investors, they're not going to teach you what they know. They don't want you to know because they're wanting to compete with you. If you have a job right now, it's a lot like this pyramid scheme. The CEO or the people at the top, they make the big money. And then there's all these different boards. Okay, the people at the top make the big bucks. The people at the bottom, they make breadcrumbs. And if you have the same job as someone, usually you have to compete with them to get the promotion. I don't like that model. In fact, it's going away. We're going into a new economy. It's called the shared economy. Think about it, guys. People are sharing their cars with Uber. They're sharing their properties with Airbnb. So the old school ways don't work anymore and they're going away. But I don't like this whole pyramid scheme system that is set up. So instead of competing with you guys, look, the reason you're here is because I want to collaborate, right? Like if my pipeline is full and I just can't do another fix and flip, I'm going to give it to like Keith, or I'm going to give it to Muhammad, or I'm going to give it to Toya, right? If Toya goes out and makes $50,000 on her project, you think Toya's going to like me? I think she's going to like me, right? Me and Toya, we going to be tight. She might call me up a couple months later and say, hey, Umair, do you have another deal for me? And I may or may not have a deal for Toya, right? But it keeps the conversation open. I might say, Toya, I don't have another fix and flip, but check this out. I'm negotiating this 22 unit apartment building, Toya. Would you like to be an equity partner or a debt partner? Do you want to work together? Guys, this is the wealthy mindset. If I would have kept my typical mindset, I'm telling you, I would have stayed broke. I thought everyone was out to get me. I didn't understand. In fact, if you're broke right now, ask yourself this question. Here it is. This is the question. How could I provide more value than what I take from the marketplace? The moment you learn how to provide more value than what you take from the marketplace, I can almost guarantee you're going to make money. Okay? Cool. I'm not going to. Now, before I leave this, guys, I would argue that time is probably the most valuable because we're never, ever going to get it back. Like the time you're spending getting to know us today. But knowledge is the most important, right? This whole money thing, this is last, right? It's last. All right. So now let me tell you guys why I chose real estate. There's lots of ways to make money. Okay. There's lots of investment strategies and I like them. I do stocks. I do Bitcoin. I do precious metals. Those are fun. Okay. It's all good. But this is why I love real estate. With all those other things, you're just betting on appreciation. You're putting money in and you're hoping that it goes up. Guys, if we're going to do this together, I don't want you to hope on anything. Hope is not a good investment strategy. Why I love real estate is it's the ideal investment vehicle. If and when I do it correctly, it will produce some income, an income that I can live off of. Me and my, like, guys, I just had knee surgery. I had my ACL and my meniscus repaired, right? So I didn't do anything for 3 weeks. And it almost brought me to tears. I said, wow. I said, God, I was just like, God, thank you so much. Because regardless of if I was working or not, all of my renters were going to work to pay me rent. And those checks kept coming in. And it almost made me cry. I'm not much of a crier, right? But there's income. The other thing that real estate does is deductions. Remember how I gave you that tax training? So you get to take advantage of deductions. The other thing that starts with the letter D is depreciation. Okay. So you got income, deductions. You're going to learn how to build equity or wealth on day one. My chicken scratch. So you got income, deductions, equity, appreciation. And then my favorite thing, everyone, because I was broke. My favorite thing is leverage. Okay. Why don't you start learning how to use OPM, other people's money? Not all the time. Maybe when you start, you do a couple of deals, build some credibility, partner up with people, but then you can help other people make good returns and you can make good profit for your prospective business. Just makes sense. All right. So real estate is the ideal strategy. Okay. Real estate investing is the ideal strategy. Now let's move on. A quick disclaimer. I told everyone on the line tonight that you can start making money with us, okay? Now, according to the FTC, the Federal Trades Commission, if I'm meeting with people in person or online and I'm making claims and I'm not proving it, guys, they consider that enticement. I'm not going to entice you to do anything today. In fact, at the end of this meeting, there's not going to be some buy now button that pops up and makes you all emotionally charged. I am just introducing what we're doing. All right. These are some questions that they want you to ask people that you do business with. Now, is anyone on this line interested in making extra money in their spare time working from home? If you are, put a Y in the chat box, because if you're not, I don't have to show you the money that you could be making on Tuesdays and Fridays based off of the work that you do. Anyone want to make money on Tuesdays and Fridays? Put a Y in the chat box. Anyone need money on here? If you're in the need of some extra cash, put a Y in the chat box. Okay, so I got a couple of people. Okay. And remember, you don't have to do this. I just wanted to show you, like, there is an earn and learn type of platform that I went through, and I just want to share it with you guys. So I just got to show you that it's real and it's true. So let me show you my desktop real quick and close my email. It's so many spam email. All right. Let me close my email real quick because I don't want that popping up. So let me just show this to you. You can start getting paid every Tuesday and Friday based off of the work that you do. So let me go to their site. All right. So I get paid. I got multiple streams of income, and I want to show you guys how you can get paid as well. So this is how I learn everything, but check this out. And you don't have to do any sales. We've got a system and stuff set up. So you can see I just got paid $1,224. And so I get paid every Tuesday and every Friday based off of the work that I do. So March 26th, $1,000. March 23rd, $2,000. March 19th, March 16th, $9,545. So this is not my real estate money. I told all of you, you can make money, and I will help you. I got your back in this. Okay. So I just needed to show you that it's real. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's hard. We've got a system set up, but we wanted to create a way that we can actually, for people that have no money, to help them put money in their pocket. All right. We created a process that doesn't exist anywhere else. So, if you want to make some money with me, it's going to be fun, guys. It's going to be awesome. Cool. So there are ways to put some cash in your pocket. This is other than real estate investing. Results aren't typical. I work hard for what I do. And I just wanted to show you that it's real. And I will show you more real deals as well, because the proof is in the pudding, right? It's like, I don't want to point anyone in the wrong direction here. So cool. So now that I shared that with you, so you can make money with our earn and learn deal. So guys, what we've done with our real estate investing ecosystem, you could do this by yourself all day, right? You can figure it out. You can learn everything. You can do it all yourself. That's the hard way. We've created a platform, a step-by-step platform where you can get in, start learning, hanging out with other investors that are doing it, and executing on either your own deals or partnering up with us, okay? So I'm going to share with you this. I want to introduce you to Renatus because I love them with all of my heart. And what they've done, this is their website. Do not go to their website right now because I'm not done sharing this information with you. You can go to it later, but you can write it down. It's myrenatus.com. Okay. And I want you to learn about all my mentors. Okay. This information is online. It's on demand. It's at your own pace and at your own time. And I have mentors, practitioner mentors at my fingertips, literally 24/7. And so what you're going to do is you can learn it. Then you're going to come to our local study groups and you're going to take action, right? We've built a process that works for everyone. No 1-800 numbers, no upselling. Now the classes, guys, I'm sorry, they're not free 99. They do cost money. I'm going to share with you all the prices and everything, and you can start wherever you're comfortable. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just here to show you how you can do it. So this is the creator of Renatus. And again, they've created online, on demand, at your own pace education. So it's both in person and online, right? So you're going to get the best of both worlds. But I'm just so grateful for this company because this was like my alternative college, which has paid off huge dividends. Now, the essentials. Now, each one of these classes, just so you guys understand, are between 5 to 8 hours long. All right. You're going to do this at your own pace and time. And then you're going to come to our study groups and you're going to build your own business. But your company can do stuff with my company. We wanted to create a way that everyone can do business without ever worrying about getting taken advantage of. Right. I just want more people to know what I know. I'm not a guru. I just want to be your friend. So this is a bank. If you keep your money in like checking and savings accounts, you're not going to do that anymore. You're going to restructure the way you do your banking with this thing called velocity banking. Now you're going to start learning high-level tax and legal strategies. In fact, did you guys know, and look this up, 54% of Americans right now don't even have a will or a trust set up. I deal with sellers on my real estate deals like this all the time. So mom and dad pass away, and then all of their assets go through what's called the probate process, and the government seizes more than half. Guys, do not let that happen to your family. Start understanding high-level tax and legal strategies, LLCs, S Corps, C Corps, how to structure your life the same way wealthy people do. Now, you're also going to start learning about alternative retirement accounts. I do a lot of money raising and money lending through my retirement accounts, but this is the foundational stuff. So, you know, in colleges, there's minors and their majors. We want to make sure you have a solid foundation before you go out and do big deals. Like if you don't have a tax strategy, there's no point of going out and flipping houses, right? What are you going to do with your capital gains tax? I said that you guys can get out of debt. We have some really cool debt elimination tools, and I hate testimonials because it's like, man, I'm never going to know those people. Remember these names. I'm going to introduce you to these people. Richard and Jenny, they wiped out $36,000 of student loan debt in 6 months. Guys, they thought it was going to take 30 years. There's stuff that you guys have no idea about, and I can't wait to share it with you. This is called the Profits courses. It's like the Essentials, but it's for entrepreneurs or existing business owners. I'm not going to really dive deep into this, but now I'm currently automating all of my businesses because of this business automation course. Now, what I'm about to show you are called AITs. That stands for Accelerated Investor Training. So remember how I said minors? These are majors. So one of the majors is wholesaling, lease options, and auctions. I'm scheduled to go to an auction in Indiana later this month, and I live in Virginia. So some really cool stuff that you guys are going to start doing. Guys, success leaves clues, so just copy other investors that are doing good, right? Now, there's fix and flip as well. I didn't know about flipping houses, or I was never a contractor. I can't fix anything. But these guys literally taught me everything from find it, fund it, fix it, flip it, and finish it. Now, I've met a lot of people the same way we're meeting tonight. So let me show you Andy. So Andy lives in Woodbridge, Virginia. He works for an auto body dealership. Andy is leaving his full-time job this year because of what I'm showing you. This is Andy's first real estate investing deal, which was in Woodbridge, Virginia. He's got 2 little girls. He coaches soccer, and I'm so proud of him. And I met him the same way I'm meeting you guys tonight. So this is his deal. Andy bought this property. He purchased it for $239,000. Okay. Now he didn't have $239,000 sitting around. So we taught him deal structure, or actually Renatus taught him deal structure. Oh, by the way, remember how I told you I was taking land development classes? I literally watched this like 6 times. I'm slow. I need to hear things over and over sometimes. But check this out. He bought this for $239,000. He put $91,000 into this property. It was jacked up, right? And he sold it for $420,000. And Andy made $90,000 on his first deal. I literally couldn't believe it. Like my first deal, I made $16,000. But it's still something, right? But Andy knocked it out the ballpark. Now remember, results are not typical, right? Everyone's different. Now these are other people that I met that I want you to remember. Anton and Mary Brooks, they live as well in Virginia, and they're on their 7th project right now, guys. They're busy IT professionals, and they homeschool their children. They just do real estate investing on the side, guys, just kind of on the side. Now, Gerardo used to work at IKEA. I love this guy. He's one of my really good friends now. He used to work at IKEA, and on his first deal, he made close to $80,000. It was like 78 something, right? But I just took screenshots of my Facebook because I love showing off my students. Like they're not my students, they're Renata students. I just kind of told them what to do. Now there's also buy and hold. Maybe you want to build a large rental portfolio to live off of. And these are just other people in Virginia. I think Sam's actually in Maryland. But And one of our premier real estate agents, Cher Sorzano. So we have the knowledge, the resources, the tools, the edge. We just put it all together. Okay. Now, have you ever considered apartment buildings? You can go right into apartment building investing. My friend Alvin did. Alvin lives in Boston. And in the last 5 years, he's become a millionaire with apartment building investing. Remember when I said you don't have to start any particular place? I don't know what it is that you want to do, but as you have ideas, we can kind of help you build that plan towards doing it. Remember, don't leave it to guessing. Put a plan together. Now, this is called No Tenants, Toilets, or Termites. You can start learning how to invest in tax liens and tax deeds, or how to buy, sell, and broker mortgage notes. The guy that teaches the notes class, if you guys aren't familiar with it, after you learn the notes business, you'll get his cell phone number and you can even partner up with him on your first couple of transactions. So we're about to open up multiple streams of income for you. Now, commercial real estate investing, I said I'm doing mobile home parks, but mobile home parks, RV parks, churches, nonprofits, strip malls. I've been looking at, I'll tell you, I've been looking at recently like these malls and stuff. I want to know if I can repurpose a mall, like, you know, these old abandoned malls, like even like in my area, there's like this landmark mall that I see. What if I can repurpose a mall into an assisted living facility? And my brain's been like doing all, like I've been thinking about this. And so I need more people like you to maybe, let's put something together, guys. But this is what taught me commercial real estate investing. It's been fantastic. It's quite different than residential. Okay, it's just two different games. This is my friend Todd. He's a nurse, anesthesiologist. Full-time, he puts people to sleep for a living. But now he's gotten into flipping apartment buildings. I've known this guy through, I did kickboxing, so I've known him for 15 years. So when he found out that I was doing real estate, he goes, Umar, you're a dummy. What do you know about real estate? So I showed him Renatus, and he's been really grateful. So guys, in real estate, what I want you to understand is that markets go up and down, okay? They go up and down. Not if, but when the market crashes, people that understand what they're doing, they make more money. So we want you to learn how to buy bank-owned foreclosures or negotiate short sales with the loss mitigation department of the bank, okay? Imagine getting a deal at a deep discount and being able to help another person out of pre-foreclosure. It's just amazing. This is called business management. Maybe you already run a business. This is a major for people who want to learn to manage their business better. Now, retiring in real estate is huge. I meet so many people in their 60s, 50s that they're like, they meet me and like, young man, I like what you're doing. Is it too late for me? And I'm like, absolutely not. Use the retiring in real estate coursework so we can restructure what you're doing with your retirement accounts. Like, let me give you guys an example. So this is a little house that I bought with my retirement account. I'm buying houses with my retirement account, right? Now, this particular property is in South Carolina. I purchased it for $18,000, believe it or not. Cheap. Sometimes people buy cars for $18,000. So I put $5,000 into it. Now, I didn't do it. My retirement account did this transaction, right? Because my retirement account has its own EIN number. It's a separate entity, okay? So my retirement account purchased this for $18,000 and it $5,000 of repairs. So my retirement account, because I've been funding that account, is all in at $23,000. Guys, my monthly cash flow right now is $800 a month. Now, granted, I'm not talking about taxes and insurance and maybe some maintenance stuff, right? But all of this cash flow goes right into my own retirement, tax-free. It's a Roth. So we want to show you guys, don't retire. You know, they teach you the nest egg mentality, basically, right? Where you got this big nest egg and then it depletes over time. Instead of a nest egg, what I want you guys to do is go create a bunch of chickens. Chickens. Those chickens will lay eggs for you the rest of your life, as long as you put a system around it, okay? There's a big difference between doing rentals as an amateur and doing rentals as a professional, okay? I'm the guy that buys your rental when you're tired of it. So you may have your money in like a 401k or a 403b or a TSP or some type of retirement account. Another homework piece that you can do tonight, if you're serious about building wealth and partnering with us, is contact your HR department and really start to read what your mutual fund is invested in. I've had a couple of students do this, and we found these are some of the most common fees. So if you think your mutual fund is making 6%, guys, think again. It's really close to maybe 2.5. And it's part of the reason why people are stuck. Guys, you cannot do what everyone else is doing. It's not working. So this is called the Wealth Acceleration coursework. So maybe you're listening today and you got a bunch of money just sitting around. Well, let us show you how to accelerate your wealth. All right. So if you want to become a lender, if you want to, there's different financial strategies that they taught me in here. Now, have you guys heard of like Airbnb, VRBO, HomeAway? So you can learn how to create an enterprise short-term rental business. These are two of my students. They met at my office and fell in love. They're actually engaged to be married. Could you believe that I'm creating love stories now? Feels great. But this is just all the different deals that they've been able to do in the last 3.5 years. Talithia used to work for the government doing fingerprinting or something, and she was so scared of leaving her job. And now she's doing things like raising $500,000 on Facebook. So guys, there's a lot more people being successful at this. If you want to hear from them, you can go to this website. It's called 3030-vision.com. Okay. I'm just a student that wants more partners to do more deals because more makes more. All right. Now, what does Renatus do? They do a ton of stuff that I just don't have time to talk about. I've talked a lot today. You're going to be hanging out and doing a lot of stuff with us, like study groups, or when you flip a house, we're going to do a property tour. Guys, we do property tours every single Saturday at 11 a.m. So if you want to attend one this week, let the person who invited you here know so we can show off our students. Okay. Hey, look at Keith. He's looking at deals. That's the guy who introduced me. I really love and appreciate Keith. He's a good friend of mine now. So guys, we are in all 50 states. So if you're not in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, don't worry. We've got communities all across the country and growing. Maybe you're an entrepreneur. There's a huge business model. Maybe you're going to be the person that helps us open up another office. Okay. So I can talk to you guys more about that. This is Damien. He's a firefighter. His wife works for the government, and he's building a huge Section 8 rental business. Brenda is supplementing her retirement by buying cash flow retirement. So we're not just saying this, we're doing it, and you're going to be hanging with us. Okay, so let me show you all the prices for everything, guys. It does cost money. Remember, we don't want to just sell some crap and leave. We're here to hang out and build a relationship. But putting all of this together costs money. Keeping the information updated costs money. Paying and hiring the instructors costs money. So obviously, it costs money. And if it was free, you wouldn't value it anyways. So I'm going to give you all the prices. There is no one size fits all approach. There's different places to get started. All right. So these are all the prices up front. And when I saw this, I was like, oh no, heck no, I have no money. There are ways to do this with $0 out of pocket. We've got scholarship programs, and you can do this for little to no money out of pocket. In fact, the company created their own financing. Regardless of your credit or you have money, people can get started with as little as $400 down. There's nothing wrong with that. Doing something is better than doing nothing. And once you can learn, and then you can upgrade. There's no penalty. You guys can do whatever makes sense for you. We're just here to help. So what I did, so these are their financing prices up top, and then they've got they give you these cash discounts. Year to date, this is what I did. I want to do everything. This was my college tuition, and I've probably made my money back 100 times over, 500 times over. But I don't know if you will. And then you can package this stuff together. There's so many different ways for you to do this. I just wanted to share it with you. It's for 2 people. So let me just kind of get through this. Low payments, down payments. I mean, it is what it is. Whether you eat at McDonald's or you eat at Ruth Chris, you get what you pay for, right? So let me just skip through this. So maybe take a screenshot of this, and then what you're going to do is contact whoever invited you here and get the details. We have a bunch of other free meetings. So if you want to just take advantage of all the free stuff, do it. But when you get started, guys, you're going to get complimentary lifetime access wherever. Okay. And we are growing markets coast to coast. So like I said, if you're entrepreneurship minded, we need you. They found me 6 years ago and I've been on it. So if you want to make money, there are opportunities to work with the company as an independent contracted marketer. We don't need you to do any talking. We've set up a system. In fact, I'll work for you next week. This is completely separate from learning and doing real estate investing. This has nothing to do with the classes. It's a separate opportunity that we've created to help people that were dead broke put some cash in their pocket. All right. Now you can literally start making anywhere from $1,000 to $11,200 within the next 2 to 3 weeks, just depending on your hustle. All right. Everybody's different. So anywhere from 300 to 11,200. Remember, it's earn and learn. What if you can go to Harvard and they're like, look, don't worry about the tuition. We got an earn and learn program. How awesome would that be? So I just want to do another disclaimer, guys. The average person will make like $15,000 a year. I'm far from average. I don't know if you are, but if I do something, I'm going hard. And so I want more people to help us share this and help people build their wealth. So guys, where focus goes, energy flows, right? And if you're a negative Ned or a negative Nancy, oh, money, I'm sorry, I can't help you. But if you're in it to win it, whether you're rich, poor, broke, I got your back. I genuinely mean that because I know how anxious I felt when they showed me the prices. I was like, all right, well, I'm out. I ain't got money. It's not true. And there's a will, there's a way. I just want to see this stop. Not cool. It's our turn to eat, guys. It's our turn to eat. So you just made it past our introduction meeting. I'm going to show you my Facebook page and stuff. I would love to stay connected. If the whole meeting sucked, I'm sorry. The goal was to introduce to you our business model and how we could work together. I just want more partners. So let me show you my Facebook page. If you guys want to add me as a friend, let's hang out. I'm going to pull it up for you guys. And the goal is just to stay connected. And remember, what you're going to do right now is you're just going to contact whoever invited you here. And you're going to say, look, don't ever talk to me again. I didn't like what I saw. Or you're going to say, you know what? I liked what I heard, but I need to see more information. You know, I need the details. So this is me. I'm on Facebook. This is another one of the people that I met the same way I'm meeting you guys tonight. She just bought a property. So I like showing my people off. Last month I bought 11 houses. And I'm looking to buy more, right? So this is my Facebook. I hope you guys stay connected. Ariel barely speaks English, but just bought a 4-unit apartment building. So anyways, love you, Ariel. If you ever see this, I didn't mean that in any bad way or anything. So cool, guys. Have a great night. I am done. I hope you enjoyed the introduction meeting. Yeah, Mohammed, call me. Let's just hang out, man. Let's get to know each other better. Thanks, Joyce. Bye, guys. And if you don't work with us, just do something for yourself. You deserve it. Bye, guys.
I appreciate it.
Hey, appreciate you, Keith. I'll see you soon, brother.
Yep.